What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another little segment here on the CultureVerse podcast. We are without Mr. Jack today. He's uh
He's a
he's
casual.
slacking. He's slacking. Because what we're doing is we are reviewing The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 4. As you guys might have noticed last time for Episode 3, he also didn't chime in because he had not seen Episode 3. He still has not seen Episode 3, which also obviously means he's not seen Episode 4. So we're just moving on without him. We're
Forever. He's
yeah,
he's done.
I
he's
can't
actually kicked
believe
out the
he
pod.
would not attend these Zoom meetings where we're talking about a TV show. I can't. Who would do that?
It doesn't make sense to me, frankly. I mean, their own reviews and everything, but I just can't. I don't know, man. Maybe he'll catch up in the future. He better, but I don't know if we'll be seeing him on one of these episodes for a little while.
He's
So
got it.
he walked in when I finished this fourth episode, and he was like, "So how was it?" I was like, "Why would I tell you? Like, watch it on
How
your own.
was
Just
it?
watch it, dude." He was like, "Well, was it better than the last one?" I was like, "You haven't seen the last one." But we'll see if he catches up. But like I said, we're leaving him in the dust here. We're gonna keep talking about it. We definitely want to stay relevant with it. So let's just kind of get into it as an all around conversation. We kind of seem to do this every time since Tyler and I have played it. So Caleb, why don't you let us know first what your thoughts were on the episode as a whole?
It was. It was kind of similar to last episode. I thought the approach was fairly similar. I mean, now that we kind of see the setup of what's happening, with a little bit of a darker tone, I really liked how we were introducing the Seraphites. I think.
Mm-hmm.
The addition of Jeffrey Wright was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious to see how his group works because he was really menacing in his role and probably if not the most interesting part, or at least what's going to happen with them for the next episode or so. I'm really interested to see what happens. That I think the big thing is probably just, I mean, Dina being pregnant and seeing how that will go. I'm curious to see what happens with Jesse. Now I'm kind of just curious to see what happens. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to be really mad is they're going to leave the season on a super unnecessary cliffhanger and they're going to cut us for a long time. And it's going to be like, well, I hate this. And so I don't know. The direction remains confusing for me, but I thought this episode was, I guess I'm not going to completely spoil, but I thought it was a little bit better,
Mm-hmm.
slightly. The back half was way better than the first half. I thought the first half was kind of like, this is the same shit we're doing last time. Like please pick up the pace. And they did. So that was nice. So a little bit better than last time.
Yeah, I actually agree pretty heavily with a lot of the stuff that you just said. The first half definitely felt similar to the last episode where I was like, all right, we're just building shit again. It's a filler. But then they definitely pick it up when you get more into the actual, like, we got actual zombies. Holy shit, I kind of
Yeah.
forgot they were in this show. But we actually got some good zombie stuff, which was pretty intimidating. They're really good at making that uncomfortable. When they had to climb through the
Train,
bus, train,
subway
whatever.
thingy.
I hated that. That was very claustrophobic. That
Yes.
was a lot. So I'm glad that they're getting back into the actual zombie part of the show. That is very important. But I really like what they're doing with the Seraphites as well, and we're starting to get into that more because shit, dude, it's
Surprised they did
uncomfortable
it, to be
as
honest with
hell.
you. I'm surprised they did this
Yeah, that
episode.
that shot of the people hanging is pretty much directly from the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncomfortable. Like I'm surprised they did it as well. I always watch the little like after the credits they like break down the episode, and Isabella
Those are
Merced
real people. No, I'm kidding.
and is yeah, actually no, actually they were though. Like they were real people. They just were being held up by their shirts instead of their
Oh,
neck. Those were actually real people, like
oh, all right.
genuinely
They had to kill
because
him for the show.
they said that I wanted to make it feel like literally as realistic as possible. But Isabella Merced and Bella Ramsey both said they were like actually scared shooting those scenes. They were like, "This is the most uncomfortable thing I've ever had to do," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's especially knowing that they're real actors just with like fake intestines and whatnot." I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty uncomfortable." So set design, like good shit, well done because that's good stuff. But I'm really glad we're getting into the stuff with the Seraphites and the stuff with Isaac as well,
Oh
which,
yeah.
like you mentioned, is Jeffrey Wright's character. That interrogation scene was crazy. And when he turns around and the Seraphite is holding his hand out, I was like, all right, like, damn,
I knew he was a goner.
that's
That's in
good
the game,
stuff.
right? I'm pretty sure that's in the
Yes.
game.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I
And I
thought.
was hoping that it would go down that whole path and whatnot, but that was crazy. Jeffrey just pulled out the nine and took care of business there. But that was a really good scene. The acting was really, really good. Um, I agree with you, Caleb. The addition of Jeffrey Wright, huge, huge W. And he played Isaac in the game. It's the
Oh,
same.
okay.
Yeah, they brought him back, which they kind of said in that after credit thing when they brought him back. They were like, "There's nobody that could play Isaac better than Jeffrey Wright, so we had to bring him back." And I was like, you know what? Like, absolutely respect. Well done, because the second he's in this episode, you feel his like acting presence. Like he immediately makes a difference to the episode. I don't know what you thought about Isaac as well, Tyler, but I am hyped.
No, yeah, I when it came to accuracy, I thought this episode was pretty good, except for
Mhm.
one scene in particular, but we'll get to that eventually. But yeah, Jeffrey Wright was I mean, he plays the guy in the game, so it makes sense you keep him as the casting choice. So that was a great choice by them. But yeah, I'm gonna jump into that scene in
Go
particular.
ahead for sure.
When in how do I say this? As we all know, this is not Ellie. I don't think this is a completely different character. In the game, when Dina finds Caleb, do you care if do you care if I go on with this? It's like
I don't know what's
Uh,
happening.
he's going to talk about a scene that happened in the show, but how it happened in the game. It's
Oh,
not
yeah,
going to
sure.
spoil
Yeah.
the show,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
just about a specific
Yeah. That's
scene.
fine.
when Dina tells Ellie that she's pregnant, Ellie is more pissed than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because rightfully so. I mean,
Well,
you are
she's like,
now what
yeah,
she
she's like,
says is a burden. You're now a burden to this whole situation. Instead, Ellie in the show is taking this as a big joke, and that's what's really making me mad about this character is she just witnessed essentially her father get brutally murdered in front of her, and she's taking just about every situation as a joke, and she's I mean, even in the train scene this episode, she seemed more scared than I mean, rightfully so. But like in the game, she's more like pissed off about what's happening than scared and frightened. I mean, she looks like Bella Ramsey acts like a little girl in these situations, when that's just not how Ellie is in the game, and it just really turns me off.
where we're at right now with the show, it's the same storyline. It's the chasing down WLF, going after Abby, trying to kill him and whatnot. The game feels like a John Wick type revenge arc. This feels like a happy, let's hold our hands and go find the bad guy together and
So
save the
much
day.
more dark.
That's not what it is. Like, and a lot of that is it's not. I don't know if it's on Bella Ramsey as much as it's on the writing. Like, I feel like the writing is just terrible. Like, and it's on Bella a bit just because like it's not her fault. It just doesn't fit the character. Like, just good actor just doesn't fit the character. And then the writing's worse when they write a line like, "I'm going to be a dad." Yeah, okay, I laughed at that. That is not even close to how the game portrays that moment. Like,
It's a completely different scenario.
in the way Tyler was talking about it is like in the game, Ellie's mad because she's like, she finds out that Dina's known about this. She's like, you knew about this for weeks and you still came out here and risked your life and the life of this baby on this trip. Like, you've become a burden because now I feel like I have to protect two people instead of just one. And that in the show, it was like, I'm a dad now. I was like, what the fuck? Like, she's so not upset about it. And she kind of has that moment on the roof where she's like, think about this. Do you really want to go? And I was like, Ellie in the game would be like trying to tie Dina to a wall and force her to not go because it's that serious.
Mhm.
And this just doesn't feel serious. Like, I'm glad you're getting into this, Tyler, because I was going to as well. Like, they're just not writing Ellie the right way. They're just not doing the character justice. And that's bad because we don't have Pedro Pascal anymore, other than maybe some flashbacks. But she's the main character now, and we're not writing her right. Like, that's concerning for the future of the show because we got a lot of story left, and a
Yeah.
lot of it is a lot darker and a lot more intense from Ellie than what we've gotten so far. And we've not seen a drop of capability from Bella Ramsey for that type of character. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
This is so hard for me because
I mean,
I
what
I'm
can you
sure.
say? You have to be
I
honest.
can't even like I can't argue with you because it's like
Yeah.
obviously you know it's different. And so like I don't know what I'm gonna like. I think it's for me. I'm like I was like okay, like it's an interesting approach to it, but obviously if it's going totally against the grain, then I struggle to see how people are like I can't even like flaunt you guys for disliking that because like duh. So it's like I don't know. I feel so conflicted with this because it was certainly silly. I think my main critique with how this show is trending right now is it just feels like I'm not getting that connection to the story that I was with season one. Like, I'm just kind of like watching it, and I'm like, okay, like it's everything's happening, like everything's kind of just happening, and
I agree.
nothing like super cool is happening. Like I'm the whole thing about Last of Us is like the people, like that's kind of like that's like the thing that separates them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And honestly, I just like am finding myself not as invested as I was, and that's not even like I can't even like knock the acting. I think Isabel Merced continues to prove herself as an incredible actress.
Mhm.
I think we talked about this too. Bella Ramsey is pretty good from an objective standpoint, but obviously it's kind of hard to see her similarly to Ellie. I haven't played up season two of the game, but
Yeah.
um, I just think that it's kind of just like I really hate to say this, but it really just feels like the vibe is off. I don't know
I get what you mean.
because it just like I'm watching it, it's just it doesn't have that it factor, and I'm just kind of just there following along, and it's like, well, I'm kind of curious to see what happens, and every time something new is thrown in, it's a 50-50 chance if it's going to be trash or not. Like Jeffrey Wright, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of curious to see what happens. Like I don't know who the Zerfites are, like the kind of religious aspect tied into like the government aspect. It's curious to see what happens with that. Like Ellie and Dina, I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of see like now I want to see Dina survive, but it's also like I don't really care that much, so it's just kind of hard for me.
That's something else I've been upset about. They've built Dina and Ellie's relationship so poorly. Like
Yes.
in the game, it's such a slow burn and you're introduced to it and you understand, okay, I see why they're into each other. Like I get it. You see their chemistry working. This was like the first really big romantic episode for the two of them. And that in the game, there's been like six things that have happened already between the two of them that have like slowly built up the relationship. And now it's just like, I'm pregnant. Let's make out. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's just not how this should be happening at all. So that's frustrating me at this point. Is like, Isabella Merced is really good, and I really like her as this character. And honestly, I wouldn't even be against like Bella Ramsey with the character in terms of the relationship if they like just built it correctly. They're just not building it good. They're forcing it, and they're not giving the audience any time to give a shit. Like, I just don't really care about either one of them right now, which is really bad because one of them is your main character, and one of them is the main character's love interest. And Caleb, the other thing that stands out is you kind of mentioned like that lack of feeling, that lack of emotion. And 2 episodes ago, we watched Joel get murdered,
Hmm.
and we don't feel the emotion. That's really
And that
bad.
was a
Like
great episode,
really,
I
really
thought
bad.
too.
It was a great episode, but it was like
But no, I
it
know,
still didn't hit. Like
yeah,
when it happened in the game, I was like
Hmm.
distraught, and I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was happening, and I was still messed. Like it was so hard to watch. And in the show, I was like, okay, I know it's coming. I know it's going to happen. And then it happened, and I was like, like that sucks. That was sad, but not really a tear, not really teary eyes, not how I should have felt. And that's because of the lack of like character and emotion building that you're talking about. It's just not there. And in the meantime, we don't know what the hell's going to happen with Tommy. Like, we still don't know where they're going with Tommy. What a crucial part of the game that feels like we're just kind of benching it right now.
Not gonna happen.
That
I,
if it doesn't happen, I will be so
it's not gonna
so
happen.
mad. Caleb, one day you're going to figure out, and you're going to be like, "Wow, I need to play the game." It's so much better than what's happening right now, and it's just frustrating. Like, I don't. I feel like season one was this faithful adaptation, and season two is them being like, let's get off the rails. Let's do our own thing. Well, whose idea is that? Because let's not. Like, everyone says The Last of Us 2, like, they used to shit on that game, and now they're starting to realize, like, it's actually a good game. They're just mad that Joel dies, which, like, yeah, okay, I was
Rightfully
too.
so.
But the game is still good. Like, it's still got a really good story. Some people argue the story is actually better in the second one all the way through.
I think it's close. I think it's
It's
close.
close, which
But
is saying a
gameplay
lot.
wise, season two or episode or the second one clears. I think.
Yeah. But like the fact that the story is even close to the first one's pretty telling of how good it is. So the fact that they're just messing things up so consistently is really starting to bother me. And another thing I didn't like is this is just nitpicking at this point, but I'm going to say it anyways. The guitar scene, it's straight out of the game, but it still didn't feel right to me. Like it's I'm glad they did it because it is directly from the game. Like,
Gabe,
yeah,
Yeah, Caleb, go.
I texted Tyler during that scene. I said, "Why the fuck is this singing scene 5 minutes?"
Yeah, good question. Yeah. Good question. But like that scene, I'm glad they put it in the show because in the game, it's a good moment. It was just so I don't know how to explain it. It just felt so wrong, just
It was.
different.
I thought it was stupid. Not gonna lie. I thought
It, it,
if Isabella Merced wasn't crying, I would have been like, "What in the hell was the point of that?" Like I, even with her crying,
Dina does not cry in the game, but it's shorter and it's more. I don't know. It in the game, it feels more like there's the romance there, but it also feels more like they're both acknowledging the fact that they miss Joel. Like it feels
Hmm.
like I learned to play the guitar from Joel, and this is me playing the guitar for you from Joel. And that's emotional, and they both recognize it. This one was just kind of like watching Bella Ramsey show that she can play the guitar for 5 minutes, and then Dina starts crying. And it was like,
it
all
was
right.
it was an awkward scene. I thought.
It is, and it's frustrating because that's such an important scene. Like that scene's big in the game, and we just and like they talk about that in the after credits thing. They're like, we just want to do it so perfectly, and I was like, then why did you not do it perfectly? Like you didn't do it perfectly. They're like, well, it's the same song, and the guitar looks the same, and the set's the same. Okay, that still doesn't mean the characters act the same. The scene's shot like it's so different, yet the same at the same time. So even when they try to do a scene right, they're still messing it up. Like it's just I don't know what the word is, but I guess frustrating. Like at this point, it's just frustrating to have to like sit back and just watch them slowly unravel the game. And it's not like it's anywhere close to my whole Until Dawn rant where I was like, this shit's just not the game. Like it still is The Last of Us Part Two, but each episode, I feel like we're getting further away from that, in my opinion.
Yeah, something that Caleb said and also Gabe you said as well is the inability to connect to these characters
Mm.
is a huge problem with this show because in the game, like every like 5 minutes or every single cutscene you have, you feel some sort of emotion. And in
Yeah.
this show, it's completely emotionless. Like I
Mhm.
feel nothing with every minute that we see from this show. And it's getting a struggle week after week to watch this show, really.
I gave you said this. You kind of I kind of go back to this too. Is Ellie and Dina's relationship. I actually thought they were doing a decent job building it up, like with the tent, like giving us that tension where it doesn't tip over the edge. And they this was way too soon because I
Yeah.
actually thought we were building decently, but this just broke it. Like because then that scene happens and it's like
Yeah.
this is supposed to be the peak moment. I was like, this feels too soon. I get it's like high tension because like Dina hasn't revealed a secret, Ellie hasn't revealed a secret, and it just kind of like go happens. But like from a viewership of a relationship, it just feels way too soon and something that they could have built through this season and then in the second season then like flourished it. Because if we would have not seen it happen in this season, we could have been like, well, I want to see it happen now. Like okay, we built it
Right.
for 7 episodes. Let's finally tip it over the top in the second season of this. And now it
Mhm.
just feels like it was too soon. That's just my, I don't know. It just feels like it was too quick. I totally
No,
agree.
We have 3 episodes left, and I feel like we've gone nowhere.
we've gone to Seattle.
Yeah, no, apparently.
Yeah, no, Caleb, I do agree. Which I don't know if I would wait until the next season, but like the thing that they're missing is that the game had already addressed like six different encounters, so they just took out moments. Like I think I mentioned in one of the episodes earlier, the scene where it's Ellie and Jesse instead in that store is
Oh yeah.
supposed to be Ellie and Dina,
Mhm.
and that's a very like intimate, like close scene between the two of them. There's a lot of those scenes that we're just ignoring at this point, and now we've just dove straight into this super committed let's start a family relationship. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, let's start a family, dude. Like, what the hell? That's so aggressive. Like, it's just not, it just doesn't feel exactly. It doesn't feel like you don't feel anything. Like, that's not good for this scenario. And this is kind of a off note, kind of random thing that I didn't like technical wise. The scene where Ellie wakes up and the flashlight's on her with Dina. Why did they try so hard to like make you think that wasn't Dina?
Yeah, that was
I thought that
stupid.
was gonna be Joel.
I
I was
thought it
like
was,
that's I said this is gonna be Joel and it's gonna be one of those dreams. So that's what
I
I
thought it was
thought.
gonna be I thought it was gonna be Abby.
I thought
I
it was
thought
gonna be
Oh,
Jesse. I thought Dina was
oh
gonna
no
that's
tell
interesting.
Jesse or something. And I don't know, but
Interesting.
yeah.
either way, I was like so clear that they wanted you to think it wasn't Dina, but like why? Because then when
Yeah.
the light turned off and it was Dina, I was like, okay,
I don't.
why did we do that for so
Yeah, I don't
long?
get that choice.
That was dumb. And that was like I said, that's a small thing, but it was so like intentional. Like it was so clear they wanted you to think it wasn't Dina. And
Hmm.
as it kind of like shot back closer, you could start to see her clothes, and it was the same clothes. And I was like, is this did Abby like take her clothes? Like what's happening?
The Skinwalker, it's a new
Yeah,
edition.
exactly. And then it's just Dina. I was like,
It's kind of curious.
okay,
we all thought it was different people. Like, it's kind of interesting, actually.
that is kind of crazy. But it just didn't make sense. Like I just don't understand that at all. So I don't know. This episode was like I think I agree with what you said, Caleb. It's better than the last one for sure. I think the last one was pretty terrible. Like the
Yeah,
last one,
it doesn't take much to be better than the last episode.
no. But at the same time, it's not. It's probably the second worst of the four. I mean, uh, it's
I
just
agree.
we're just not like Tyler said. We're almost to the end, and we're not even close to like
Yeah,
what should be halfway. Because if they're splitting this into two seasons, okay, we know roughly where the halfway point is, Tyler. We're not even like
not even
we're not
close.
even close to where halfway should be. So are they going to make a third season? Like, what are we doing? Or are they just going to, they're going to do? They're just going to cut out giant chunks of the game so they can fit it into two seasons. And that's going to, this is the kind of show that halfway through the next season, it's just going to be hated. Like, people are just going to hate this show because they're going to be like, you
A lot of
left
people
the
already
game.
dislike it now.
Yeah, people are already getting upset. Like, by the time we get to season 3 and we're getting a couple episodes in, you're going to have the game fans pissed. I mean, Caleb's an example here. Like you don't know anything about the game and you're getting frustrated. Like that's really bad.
Mhm.
Like it's just they're messing up, man. It's
Yeah.
annoying.
I was gonna ask. I don't know if you guys know this or if they even know this. Do they have a confirmed time for the second half of this?
Like how
Like,
many episodes?
have they already filmed the second half of this
Oh, I
season?
think they've
No
take this.
idea.
Okay, I think they've shot half of it.
Okay, so this won't be
Half
released
a lot
until
here.
like 2027.
I think it would be 2026. I think it would be a
Okay.
2026 release. But that could, how that works.
Yeah.
Time is
But my point is like if you put a lot of time in between, if this ends up like I'm already like I'm not really like frustrated. I'm just kind of like emotionless towards it, like you said a
yeah.
lot. But like if we end on like a pretty poor note, putting a year and a half in between a second season of this would be detrimental to the viewership of this because
Yeah.
people are going to straight up.
Not
Like some
watch
people
the
don't
third
care.
season,
Some
probably.
people will just not watch it because it's like I'm not rewatching that
Yeah.
last season. Like
To
that's a
catch
big thing
up.
for TV shows. Like people want to rewatch what happened so they can get caught up. If this ends on a bad note and they put a year and a half, like rewatch it. Come
Yeah.
on, it won't happen. It won't happen.
I hate to say it, but it almost feels like it's becoming its apocalypse counterpart, The Walking Dead. Like people just got to a point where they just didn't care anymore because you just kept either killing characters in The Walking Dead or just not making interesting ones. And I haven't seen all The Walking Dead, but every time I've tried to watch it, I just stop because I don't care anymore. That's the path we're going down, which really sucks because the Walking
Games
Dead
lead.
fans, the Walking Dead fans, and Jack, close your ears here. The Last of Us is 1,000 times better than anything The Walking Dead has ever made. So the fact that we're adapting it poorly is like the worst to watch from the game perspective. Like season 1 of The Last of Us is better than any season of The Walking Dead, and it's not close. And then I'm like season 2, like okay, there's a lot of stuff that's supposed to happen, except none of it's happening, except we killed Joel. Like okay,
We
so
did it. We did it.
we got rid of the best character. That's good, and now we're failing to make the new character good, and we're not going anywhere in the story. And the best character's brother, who's very important to the story, is like jerking it at home. Like,
I was
like
gonna ask a question.
yeah.
Without I'm gonna try and preface this by like not having you guys spoil it. What can you reveal that is like what's next? What can you say that what's next that isn't spoiler much? Like I guess I just want to
Yeah.
see what the direction is and maybe people that like Jack, if he's listening, like how can we set the tone of what's gonna come here?
I would say that I would say that if it goes the way that the game should and the way that Tyler
Don't
and I
worry.
want it to, we should be getting close to a rather not good event. And it feels like it's going to be bad. And then something happens that makes it not bad. And you're kind of like, you're kind of like, oh shit, and
No,
then
no,
it's
no.
fun,
This is touchy, but I just wanted to see what you could tell us.
and then it's pretty fun, and we go from there. Tyler, do you kind of know what
You
I'm?
went crazy. I mean, I would I couldn't have explained it better.
Kind of a hard question. Do you think they'll
Well,
end that
well,
the
the way
season
I
with
would,
that?
yes,
It's from my point, maybe Gabe as well. It's so hard to try to say what's going to happen next because I really don't know anymore because
that's true.
they've taken so much out. Like
That's true.
I really couldn't tell you without spoiling, I guess.
The way that
I
I'm
don't exactly.
approaching it is the next big event that it feels like they can't cut out. And to me, it would also be something that we would really like as well. But it would feel like some sort of event would happen that's bad, and basically what I'm saying is like I don't think we would be getting another filler episode. There's no way we should be getting another filler episode.
We should
We're
have
at a
gotten one to
true,
begin with.
but like we're at a place now where it definitely feels like it could ramp up in terms of the intensity. And if it ramps up in the way that I'm thinking it should, it's very rewarding. Like there's a lot of good stuff that comes from that. And if they choose to cut that and just ramp it up and cut what I'm thinking of, it will go down significantly, in my opinion. So it's not like it's time to revolt and turn off the TV and stop watching. Like it's unless this next episode's a filler, then we can shut it off. Because there's no more room for fillers. Like we're there. Shit needs to start happening right now. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just getting confused, like Tyler said, at this point as to what the direction is. And like occasionally, like the main concept's the same, like we're going to find Abby, we're in Seattle, and then they just like drop glimpses of scenes like the hanging and stuff with Isaac. And it's like, hey, I recognize that. Like I know that. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I have no idea where we're going. Oh, hey, I know that. I recognize that.
It's
Okay,
like it's
that's
kind of
not
like with Until Dawn for you, Gabe. Like you don't really know what's happening, but like you see Easter eggs and you're like, oh hey, I know what that is.
it's a less egregious version of
Yeah.
that. Like it's at least I can recognize the story, but like just because you can recognize that the outline of the story does not mean you can just completely derail and then come back and be like, but look, there's the guitar scene
Like
that's in
trying
the
to teach a
game.
kid to color between the lines and then
It's
he
literally like
falls
they're
off
trying to
and then he goes back.
yeah, it's literally like they're trying to like keep the attention of a toddler. They'll be like, oh, here it is, here it is. All right, we're going off a little bit. Oh, here it is, it's back. And like jangling keys in front of you. Like at this point, I don't know. I guess I should just stick with the word frustrating, but at some point it's becoming insulting. Like at some point it's like, okay, now you're just not doing the game anymore. And if that thing I was talking about happens, where the thing that Tyler and I want to happen, if that doesn't happen, that's a slap upside the face. Like that is a punch in the face. Like just at that point, cancel season 3.
I wanted to kind of say, I think that there was this. I just had like an aha moment while you were talking. There is like a severe lack of like agenda. Like I know we've said like we've been talking like beating on the bush about its directions. Like I really think that okay, let's break it down. The main objective of the show at this point is to find Abby and kill her. We are doing everything but that. And I think there's just a severe lack of like reference to it. Like I think we say Abby's name once. And so it kind of feels like we're playing the game right now and we're doing all these side quests and ignoring the main mission and then kind of going back to the main mission after screwing around for a little bit. Like, like you guys are saying, it does feel like Easter eggs, but it feels like they're literally and figuratively just kind of screwing around and not doing the main mission how a show should work. It literally kind of feels like if a game was a show, but if they weren't adapting the game they're referencing perfectly into the show. It just feels like they're missing the objective. Like, how do we have this episode where we're in Seattle without seeing Abby or referencing her once?
You know what it kind of feels like? It feels like an open world game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like we're just going on side quests.
We're just avoiding the main quest. Like,
Mhm.
it's like when you're trying to 100% a game and you're just doing the stupid ass
Yeah,
mission.
do all the side quests first, get your level all the way up, and then do the main mission, and then
which is
then
just
repeat the cycle.
which if you've played The Last of Us, that's just not a thing. It's
I mean,
not
there's some
open
different
world,
routes that you can take, but they
right?
all
But
like lead the same direction.
it's all to tie into the main story. It's not
Yeah.
like I want to 100% the game, so I need to do all this. Like,
Right.
that's just not something you do. So that's actually a really good point, Caleb. That's exactly what it is. There's no sense of like, I don't think purpose is the right word, but objective, like you said. Like, we're just not tackling the objective. Like, it's always in the back of our head, like, okay, why are they here? Okay, they're trying to find Abby. But like, meanwhile, we're hanging out in the music store singing "Take on Me," and like, then again, like seriously, that's a good scene in the game. But with everything else happening in the game, it's so much less daunting and like tedious. So it just makes sense. And the game's longer, so you have more time for scenes like that. And that's the other thing that I will give them a bit of grace for. It's a over 20-hour game. Like, you don't expect them to adapt every single thing, but when they're picking and choosing and they're leaving out important things to the main story, then you're going to get complaints. Because like, you don't need every single scene. You physically can't do every single scene, but you kind of can do, you can definitely do the ones that matter, and it's a TV show, so you have a lot of time. It's just more so about at this point, like, if you were going to stretch it out the way they've been doing with filler episodes, why are you only doing 7 episodes? Like, you have got to do 10, 12 just to get us to where we need to be. And that's still if there's the break in the middle of the game and season 3 is coming. Like, that, you still should have it be 10, 12 episodes and then moving on. And it's like they were concerned that we would think that's too many episodes. And it's like, at this point, you got the opposite. Like, now we're just frustrated because you're not telling enough of a story and it ends in 3 weeks.
Yeah, Gabe, I just thought of a question. I was listening back to episode 2 or the review of that, and you mentioned something about how you won't be happy if Dina goes back to the town and tells them and Tommy doesn't go with them. In the game, is Tommy with Ellie right now? Because you mentioned something along the lines of like, if Dina goes back and says, I'm not trying to like get you or anything, but I'm just
how to explain this. No.
So he's not there though.
No, not with them. No.
Not
okay.
Not
Dina and Ellie are the ones that leave together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're so far.
I will say, without trying to spoil anything, that is a part of what Tyler and I are really hoping does happen.
That's kind of like the big thing I want to happen.
I feel like you can assume.
I kind of was
what's going to happen, or at least to an extent. But the way that this is hard.
Tiptoe.
Yeah, I know. The way that they're making Tommy in the show leads me to lean a little more on the side that they're not going to do it. And that's going to really bother me. And that's because he's not a pussy, but he's like,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
No, he's not quite a pussy. He's just way more focused on like keeping the city safe.
Mm-hmm.
It, again, without spoiling it, if the way in the game, it's like, before Joel ever dies, that if something like this was to happen, Tommy would be on demon time. Like, he's not just going to be like, gotta rebuild the city. Like, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. Like, he's taking on the mayor role again, and he's like making sure everybody's okay. And he was like even iffy on going to find them in the first place. Like, and that's kind of an issue we've had with Ellie too, is she's been like not quite as we need to go find them right now as we've wanted them to be. So like, both of those characters are like way more docile than they should be. They should both be like hell-bent with anger and like need revenge. And there's literally an episode where we talk about in the meeting why we don't need revenge. And I was like, what are we doing? Like, the homophobic old dude is so right. Like, everything he says is the correct mindset in that episode. Not everything he says ever. But like,
do not take that out of context.
Yeah, I know.
Clipped.
Don't clip that. No, but like the mindset that he has is the mindset that Tommy and Ellie should be having, but like times 10. So right now, what I was talking about that episode, Caleb, is not Dina coming back and getting Tommy and he goes with them. It's more so that fire being lit underneath Tommy by Dina being like.
So they didn't do that already.
Unless
as it stands.
Unless they're going to not a flashback, but like maybe show him back in Jackson now getting kind of like frustrated by the fact that he's just running in circles trying to fix things, which is what do that. Like, please do that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think they could have actually, if you want to do filler stuff, let's go back to Jackson. Let's see some of Jesse. Like you said, Jesse is pretty important, and if he's gonna
Oh,
do some heroic
stress.
action, which I'm just kind of spitballing. If he's gonna be there and like do something heroic in the season, it's gonna feel so fucking random if he just shows up
Oh
because I
yeah,
know nothing about him. Like
That's
yeah.
true.
He's
he's
gonna.
cool, but if he shows up and he's just there and he does something awesome, be like, oh yeah, he is there. Like
He's just.
he's supposed to be some cool guy. We're
Yeah,
not building up him at all. Like
that's
Tommy,
something else.
they
Now
need to
you
go back
mentioned
and
that.
forth because like
I'm a
why are we
bit
just
worried.
doing that?
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about Jesse as well in terms of what we're gonna do there. I mean,
And he's the father of Dina's baby. We know nothing about him. Like what his thoughts are, we don't know. I don't
so
know.
like in the game, he definitely like gets more of a role, a bit like it takes longer. I don't feel like he's already fully established at this point in the game, but he's more established than he's been in the show. We've seen him like 4 times.
That's what I'm saying. Like
He's just being underused, which sucks because the casting is like incredible. Like the guy is
he's
pretty
good.
much just like Jesse, but we're just not seeing him or using him. And like you said, same with Jackson. Like, who knows what Tommy's doing right now? Not a clue. Like,
Yeah, they should have
not even,
added something this episode. 100.
yeah,
percent
they definitely should have. So I don't know. Todd, were you gonna say something?
No, no. I kind of
It's
agree with everything you're
it,
saying.
it's just going to be interesting to see where we go from here. There's like a clear direction that they should be going in terms of the game. And if I don't see that within like the first 10 minutes of the next episode, I'll probably be very disappointed. Like, it'll be clear to me that they're focusing more on like the storytelling aspect and breaking down Ellie and Dina. And that's just not what we should be doing right now. Like, it's like you said, we're just not doing the main quest right now, like at all. Like we're very slowly inching closer to it while doing everything in our power to not do it. Like it's just I don't know. I'm glad they introduced Isaac. That needed to happen. That's good. They need to focus more on that with the Isaac and the
Seraphites.
Seraphites. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah.
We need to dive more into that. That's important. But
Seraphites are cool.
Seems cool so far. I mean, like that whole storyline, at
that's a
least.
word. Very interesting. But
The Seraphites, I will say, is one of like my favorite part, like one of my favorite missions from the game, though. That whole
there's a really, really good mission with the
yeah,
Seraphim.
You know what I was
yeah.
thinking during this episode? I bet that sneak mission where you have to get around the building other end is probably annoying as fuck. I'm guessing is it a sneak mission, you know, when Dina and Ellie
You
are
know,
in there with
the one where they're like hanging.
yes.
I
There's a
think
lot of sneak
I think
missions, to be fair. So
it's got sneaking,
I,
but I think it's more of like cutscene than anything.
okay, good. Because I was thinking, I was like,
But
this
it's
could be the
got
most
sneaking.
annoying sneak mission ever.
Some of that was actually changed a bit in terms of getting into the building. That was very different in terms of like exiting. It's
Okay.
way like in the game, they kind of just like it's not as dumb as the sound. So they kind of just like mosey in through the front door. They don't like scale a building and climb in a window. Like
Okay.
that was kind of crazy. I was like, oh, okay.
I
But
was just thinking like this is probably a really annoying mission, but I guess never mind.
there's honestly in The Last of Us, there's not a whole lot of like annoying missions. Like everything is pretty intense. Like the
yeah,
sneak missions are usually like you're shitting your pants. Like you're
yeah. Because
genuinely
a lot of times in the sneak missions, there's like zombies and stuff around you that you
yeah.
have to kill and stuff. So you're always having to do something, even if you're sneaking around. So
Yeah. So like I
So it's not
do
just MJ missions.
no, it's not like
no,
that at
not
all.
MJ
Yeah.
missions.
But
But it'll be interesting to see if they, especially if you kind of mentioned like the missions you were talking about that you like, Tyler. It'll be interesting to see if we go down that route. But like something that I think about when I'm thinking of that mission that I really like when it comes to later in the game is like Bella Ramsey is just not gonna be able to do it like at all in the terms of what I'm thinking as to where like how do I explain this? Like the other Tyler, the other people in
mhm.
the group and like what Ellie, how Ellie like what she's doing to with them.
You're doing great,
Yes, of
sweetie.
course, of course.
Okay,
I
I
think
don't. I'm not gonna. She's not gonna be able to do it. Oh, hey, you can't hear it all. You're gonna
Can't
listen to
hear
the
you.
episode though.
you
Okay.
can.
Like how he like she like hunts down. She like we watch her pick off certain members of the group. Like she picks off.
Oh yeah, she like
Yeah,
goes through and like kills like
I'm
half.
not gonna. You're good, Caleb. You're good, Caleb. You're good. Basically, I'm just not gonna be able to believe the emotion there
Hell no. I
and
don't
and
think she
we're
would
and
physically be able to do that, to
yeah,
be honest
and
with
we're
you.
getting closer to that, and I'm getting more concerned that it's just not gonna happen. Like I'm just not gonna believe it. It's gonna happen. It'll happen for sure.
I
It
saw
has
I
to happen.
saw this with Ellie or with Bell Ramsey coming a mile away. Like after playing the game, I'm like, no, there's no there's no shot.
I tried really hard in the first episode of this season to be like,
There's a
they
chance.
got the tattoo. They changed the hair. Maybe she's a little taller. Not really.
Even the hair's not even
No, the
accurate.
hair is
She's got
not.
shorter hair.
It's weird, but it's just each episode that goes by, I'm like less intimidated. Like I'm like, this character is never going to intimidate me in the way that they need to.
In the subway scene, which the one that you were talking about where you were claustrophobic, which is rightfully so. I mean, I would be
Yeah, it was
too, but like
crazy.
in the game, she's not essentially scared. She's more
She's
like
less scared than a human probably should be.
Ellie was or Bella Ramsey was whining like a little girl in that
Yeah,
entire scene, and it's just
yeah,
yeah,
no, she's Ellie in the game
a badass,
is
like
like
a total badass.
unhumanly locked in. Like you're like this character should not be. This character should be like pissing down her leg, and she's like the Terminator. Like it's insane. And this version of Ellie is like mortified when she sees a zombie. And like we said, humanly, yeah, I would be too. But like in the game, everybody's shitting down their leg except for two people, Ellie and Tommy. Those two people are so unfazed by zombies that it's absurd. And it reminds you of Joel. But like with Tommy, all we've seen him do is hold a damn town meeting because he's too scared to go off on his own. And we've seen Ellie piss her pants every single time there's a zombie and then get excited because now she's a dad and play the guitar. Sorry. I,
Right? Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. And something else I'm worried about on the other hand, when are we going to get the Joel flashbacks? Like, how long are we going to wait?
Facts. We
That's
have
why I thought this was going to be a Joel's dream this episode. Like I thought that was going to be with the flashlight. I thought that was going to be.
There's a monumental scene that we've just not even remotely gotten. We actually mentioned it in the first episode. Tyler, you know which one I'm talking about?
Dude, yeah, because I was so pissed that they didn't do it, but my dumbass was wrong
Yeah, but
about what
shit, they
happened.
might just not do it.
Dude, that
At
scene
this
is
point, they might
Well,
just not.
I know what that is. We talked about this kind of.
The porch. Yeah.
important.
At
And
this point,
I'm putting the dots together.
at this point, I'm genuinely concerned that they're just not going to do that. And if they don't do like they talked about the guitar scene in this episode, they're like, it's just one of the most important episodes of the game. I was like, there's another one or five that you just
There's like
not do.
12.
The
There's
whole
even one.
game is like,
Yeah.
play the game, Kill.
I
Every other
might.
cutscene is honestly a flashback, and they're
And
all
it's really
really
important.
good.
Like all of it is meaningful and makes you like
Dude,
actually emotional. Like
are we even
it's
gonna put the hat on the thing? Are we gonna do it?
no, probably not. Honestly, at this point, no.
If we don't
If
do
they
that, then
do,
it's 0 out of 5. I
if
mean,
they do, I will stand up and start clapping. That's one of the greatest scenes in cinema history. No, it's realistically, I could see them adding that instead of the porch scene.
I mean, I want to see it
I
because
Caleb's in awe.
I can't wait till I see a hat, and
it's a pretty
I'm
funny
like,
scene, but
Caleb's gonna be
like,
like, the hat. The hat.
next episode's gonna be great when I see a hat.
Yeah, we're making like a scavenger hunt for Caleb. He's like, hat
Yeah,
check. Tommy check.
porch
but
hat, something cool, something
I think
bad.
those having those flashbacks in the game is what makes the app or Ellie's actions feel so
Yes.
genuine and everything like that because like you see these flashbacks of her and Joel and even with Tommy that it's like
Right.
they hit hard and that's what makes the entire journey so emotional because you're doing this for Joel
Yes.
and you don't get that with this
Yeah,
season.
and you're also like watching Ellie like have these like it's not just a flashback for you. You're watching Ellie have these flashbacks, and that's how she like consistently locks back in. Like
Mhm.
she remembers what the goal is here, like why she's doing all this. And that's so emotional. And here it's like this is the first time we've even mentioned Joel, and she was like, he taught me how to play the guitar. It's like he did a lot more
Yeah,
than that.
I think they mentioned that. Well, I think Ellie even says to Dina like she passes him on the porch and didn't say anything or something like that.
She did mention something like that, like a couple.
I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but she says that, and I'm guessing, and like I'm putting the pieces together. Like that would be an incredible scene. Like that's the last time they see each other, and like I don't know,
mind blowing stuff there.
I don't know.
I'm hoping she's lying to Dina and saying I just passed him because she doesn't want to talk about it, and then they show it later because seriously, I can't really compute the fact that they would not put that scene in the game, like or in the show. Like some people say that's like one of the biggest
Yeah,
scenes across both games.
it
Like
would probably be the best scene in the entire show, honestly.
it's like the only scene that I can think of that's probably bigger than that scene is Joel dying. Like other than that, like this scene is so that's the scene that made me cry. Like I was crying during that scene. I was. And it's like, are we gonna scrap that because we used one too many filler episodes and now we're running out of time? Is that why we're gonna scrap that? Because if that's the reason, this is like the biggest fumble of an adaptation ever. Because season one was like awesome. Like we
Yeah.
were loving it. It was fun. It followed the game pretty well. And now it's like we're just gonna not do the second game anymore. So I don't know, man. We've managed to rant about this show for like 40 minutes or something.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing to me that each episode I'm getting from a TV standpoint, this episode is better. From the game standpoint, every episode is like a step closer to just jumping off the cliff. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah. Do you want to give your
I'm
summary?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Anyone want to start?
I can go. I just
Okay.
get it. Yeah, you guys can rant after me.
Right.
Like I said in the beginning, this is a little bit of a better of an episode than the last one. I think it still kind of feels a little fillery, but we got some more action, we got some more um just more story uncovered. I think it's nice with new additions of Jeffrey. Well, new Jeffrey Wright is back. And I'm curious to see how that storyline goes. We definitely need to pick up the pace a little bit, in my opinion. But I gave this one a 3 out of 5, just a half star better. And it's certainly not better than on the same level as the first episode, which I gave a 3.5. So I was like, let's go with the 3.
Fair enough. Tyler, you want to go or you want me to?
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, this episode is definitely better than the last one for sure. I mean, it doesn't take much, but when it comes to Ellie, it's a completely different character, like we discussed. And the this episode does do a lot of stuff that's accurate to the game, like with Jeffrey Wright's character and the Seraphites and the subway scene. But even still, we're not going anywhere yet, and we still have 3 episodes left in this season. So yeah, this is a not very fun, just like the last one, but better. So I have a 2 out of 5 on it.
Yeah, I mean, from just a television standpoint, this episode is pretty easily better than the last one. But like we were kind of saying earlier, doesn't take much. So I was definitely expecting a better episode here, really hoping they would ramp it up. And they just didn't, frankly. They didn't do much else to really move us along in the story at all. They're just kind of dropping in moments from the game so that way the people who played it can like point it out and be like, that was in the game. But then they're just not going anywhere with it. The closer we get to each week, the more concerned I get that they're just going to cut massive parts of the game. And it's getting to the point where this has potential to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't even trying to make it that. That's my bad. That's my bad. That's my bad. I'm sorry.
If you want to restart, you can, but
I don't really care.
I'm sorry.
I'm just pick it up and edit it. At least the people listening to the full episode, they get it. They get to hear it on this. It's because I said the word massive.
yeah, people on YouTube will see Kill's face and they'll be like,
It's like,
"Oh yeah, I get it."
I'm like the Winter Soldier. It's like,
Yeah. But yeah, each week that we get closer to another episode, I get more concerned that they're just going to get rid of like very key moments and just do it because they want to get to the filler episodes more, and that's just wrong. So I'm getting concerned where the show's going. This episode was fine at best, so I gave it a 2 out of 5 as well. Well, it sounds like for the most part we're all in agreement. I mean, it was better than the last one. Caleb liked it a little more than us.
it's pretty good. I mean, that's probably what's going to be.
Yeah,
That's how it's
I
going
think
to be
that's
for
what
most of
become the
this.
theme. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have the game to base stuff off of,
Yeah.
so he's gonna
Well,
go.
that makes it more enjoyable. But like I was saying earlier, the fact that you're starting to point out problems like that's
Those problems.
like that's
100%.
concerning for sure.
Yeah.
So
Like if this wasn't even a game and it was just a show, I definitely would have stopped watching by now.
yeah,
Like-
that's fair. I feel like I can speak on Jack's behalf now. He's going to not like this episode.
Oh, he's probably the more he hadn't seen Tommy in 2 episodes. He's probably going to fucking despise these episodes.
And the second Pedro Pascal died, he was like, "I'm done with the show." Like fair, but like not at the same time. Like in the game, you're locked in still. But at this point, it is kind of like, okay, can we get Pedro back right now? Like, at least in the game, you're fine.
Something
Now it's kind
interesting
of
to look forward
concerning.
to. Come on.
Okay, well, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the episode there. Let us know in the comments if you like heavily disagree and you think this is like peak cinema. That way we can ridicule you and pin it, and let everybody make fun of it because it's not. No, but really, let us know if you guys disagree. We'll obviously respond to see what you guys are saying and all that fun stuff. Be sure to check out our other social media pages as we continue to post more content and try to upload more episodes as well. Check out some of the ones that we just uploaded. We've had a lot of episodes uploading recently, all sorts of stuff. We had the Thunderbolts review, we had Sinners, all that good stuff. So, yeah, make sure you guys are checking it all out. And as always, we will catch you guys next time.